Hart, and I'm the ringside reporter for the EHL. We can officially check off another month in the Eastern Hockey League, and we can describe October with just a single word: busy. We were able to complete 57 games played, 41 more games in the month of September. And with that, let's start making our way around the E-Show presented by the Penalty Box Foundation. We kick things off with the Boston Junior Rangers, who after just playing one game in the month of September, have won all 8 games in the month of October. The reigning regular season champions have an 8-0-1 record and are currently riding the longest active winning streak in the league. With arguably the hottest offense in the EHL, the Rangers have scored 48 goals while only allowing 19 through their first 9 games. It is also worth noting that forward Marcus Cook has made his college commitment to Elmira College, while defenseman Jackson Legro has also chosen Lebanon Valley College for the fall of 2021. 5 total players on the Rangers are averaging a point per game or better, including Nathan Young, Marcus Cook, and Ryan Bailey, all with over 16 points to date. Continuing with the Seacoast Spartans, the Spartans had an up-and-down month, going 4-4-0, with 2 of their losses being against the hot Junior Rangers squad. Despite going 500 this month, Seacoast sits in second place in the New England Conference with 13 points. The 2 shining stars in Azam Jiwa and Bjorn Schupak continue to lead the squad, as Schupak was also able to earn our top performer honors as Defenseman of the Week earlier in the month. Players to watch out for would include Ashton Collazo, Nick Camino, and Jake Dubé, as they each have 7 points thus far. Also add in 6'4" netminder Brett Welizek as a top candidate to be one of the 8 goaltenders selected to the EHL All-Star Classic. It was a quiet month for the Avalanche with only 4 games played, but they remain in our next level hockey power rankings after defeating the Seahawks, Railers, and Lumberjacks after falling to the Valley Junior Warriors on the first of the month. 03 defenseman Robert Martinello and 2000 netminder George McMichael took home the top performer honors for their respective positions in Week 4, as Martinello was able to tally the game winner against the Lumberjacks and McMichael turned away 50 of the 51 shots he faced. Similar to the Avalanche, the Lumberjacks played a total of 5 games, dropping the first 2 games of the month to their third-place rival and the Walpole Express. The Jacks were able to bounce back during their 3-game series with the Warriors as they went on the road and completed a sweep of their New England Conference opponent. Forwards Paul Fine-Lease and Davis Bone combined for a total of 14 points during the 3 games, including one of the top plays of the week from Davis Bone. Moving our way down to the 5th-place team, we reached the Walpole Express. After a winless month in September, the Walpole Express have gone 4-1-1 this past month. 0-1 forward Zach Simon and Lorenzo Marcolin lead the Express in scoring with 13 points for Simon and 11 points for Marcolin. Thanks to a 5th straight win on the 1st of November, Walpole is back in the next level hockey power rankings. Consistent with the Avalanche, the New England Wolves also had a quiet schedule in the month of October. The shutdown of rinks in New Hampshire made things quite difficult, but regardless, the Wolves still sit in 6th place in the New England Conference. Similar to Seacoast, the Seahawks had an up-and-down month, going 2-3-0, but ended the month of October on a high note with the win over the Connecticut Chiefs. With the exception of the 4-1 loss to the Avalanche, the 4 other contests were all decided by 2 goals or less. 2000-born netminder Peyton Duran has been an E-Crew favorite this season with 300 minutes played and a record of 3-2-0, a definite candidate for the EHL All-Star Classic. The rink shutdown in New Hampshire was also a factor in Massachusetts, and the reason why the East Coast Wizards have only played 4 games to date. The team will be plenty of busy in the months to come with a number of players to watch. One of those players including former EHLP Defenseman of the Year in Jack Johansson. The Maine Eclipse had a jam-packed month of October with a total of 9 games, notably picking up their 2 first wins in franchise history over the Spartans and Seahawks. Despite their total record standing at 2-9-1, the Eclipse put up a strong fight, falling to teams such as the Boston Junior Rangers and Walpole Express by only a single goal. 0-1 netminder Nikita Primak has been a huge factor in these close call games, as he has been between the pipes for both victories and has an impressive save percentage of 9-9. Along with Primac, another player to be on the lookout for during All-Star Classic is forward Ryan Terse, who currently has 12 points in 10 games. Similar to the Junior Rangers, the Railers were only able to fit one game in the month of September. But in the month of October, they were able to fit in 6 games, going 2-4-0, with their first notable win over the East Coast Wizards. Railers leading scorer John Baker was able to notch 5 points in the Wizards game and added 4 more assists throughout the remainder of the month. As the season continues, the Railers hope to continue making strides in the right direction, as they've shown a big difference in comparison to last year's inaugural campaign. After picking up a huge win over the Avalanche on the first of the month, the Warriors endured a difficult stretch to finish off the month of October, and they're not scheduled to have their next contest until November 13th. According to head coach Ryan McGrath, the team will be spending the time working out as much as possible and participating in team activities until they can return to the ice upon the state of Massachusetts reopening for ice hockey. Making our way down to the Mid-Atlantic Conference, the New Jersey 87s keep on rolling, going 8-0-1 this month. Undefeated in regulation, the 87s suffered their only loss of the season in a shootout defeat at the hands of the Connecticut Rough Riders. It's also worth noting that if it wasn't for the skate blade of Rough Riders goalie Adam Faust, the game may have gone in New Jersey's way. With 11 total games played, the top 4 scorers in Kei Yasuda, Nick Swain, Tim DeBoard, and Dante Terramani have all tallied 18 points or more. The 87s have the second highest average goals per game with 5, just .33 behind the Boston Junior Rangers. With a total of 21 points in the standings, 7 points ahead of the second-place Rough Riders, the 87s are the top contender to earn a first-round bye in the 2021 playoffs in the Mid-Atlantic Conference. Speaking of the Rough Riders, the second-place team had a very busy month with a total of 9 games, going 5-3-1, with one of the biggest upsets of the season as they served the 87s their first loss. Offense is not something the Rough Riders struggle with, as Tyler Bonapane and Colin Bella are the top 2 scorers in the entire league, with Bonapane having 32 points and Bella having 28 in 13 games played. Having played more games than any other team in the league is a big reason why the Rough Riders lead the EHL with 57 goals for as well as 64 goals against. The Rough Riders hope to improve on defense and will rely on Faust to repeat his game-winning performance against New Jersey. Just 1 point behind the Rough Riders sits Team Maryland, with 13 points in the Mid-Atlantic Conference. Josh Fusco and Team Maryland went 4-3-1, with a pair of victories over the New York Apple Corps and Protect Junior Ducks. Team Maryland continues to lead on netminder Bobby Mikowski, as his record has improved to 5-3-0, and he currently leads the league in minutes played. The Protect Junior Ducks only came away victorious in 1 game this month, but it's worth noting that they were able to capture a point in 3 of their 4 losses, dropping a pair of games in overtime and 1 game in a shootout. In addition to Braden Patricia, the Ducks will lean on their second leading scorer in Spencer Quinn, who was able to pick up 5 points in the month of October and add his name to conversation for the EHL All-Star Classic. As we keep making our way down the standings, the Connecticut Chiefs are enduring an up-and-down start to the year, but are showing significant improvements from their first 2 seasons in the league. While Matt Loftus continues to lead the team in scoring, Jason Gordon has turned heads with not 1 but 2 hat tricks to his credit so far this year. If you've been able to tune into any Little Flyers games, you would not think that their record stands at 3-6-0. 4 of the 6 losses have been at the hands of the first-place New Jersey 87 squad. All 3 victories were captured this month, and all against Team Maryland, the same organization the Little Flyers knocked off in the first round of the 2020 EHL playoffs. 0-2 forward Robbie Seawagon is arguably the best 0-2 in the league, while 2000-born defenseman Jake Frankenfield has proven to be a vital part of the Little Flyers lineup. Finishing things off, one social media post said it best: "Winless, no more." Although the Apple Corps went 2-5-0 in October, they ended the month with a pair of 6-5 victories over the Connecticut Rough Riders. As I had mentioned in last month's recap, 2000 forward Michael Carducci continues to be a threat every time he touches the puck, as he scored both game winners for the Corps. New York will look to carry that momentum forward into the month of November. As we make the switch to the EHLP, the format is quite different than the EHL. All 4 teams in each division will qualify for playoffs, so the battle is on to see who will be the top seed in the North, Central, and South. The current top seed in the North Division, the New Hampshire Avalanche, are the only undefeated team remaining in the league, with a perfect 6-0-0 record. The squad has many newcomers such as Graham Hassan, the EHLP Forward of the Month for September, who picked up 4 of his 11 points in the month of October. It is also worth noting each of the 3 Avalanche netminders have earned 2 wins apiece so far this year. Just behind the Avalanche are the Vermont Lumberjacks, last year's sleeper team, and it appears they have picked up right where they left off with a current record of 4-1-1. As we continue down to the Wolves, the squad up in Laconia still holds the label as defending champions, with last year's postseason getting cancelled just prior to the start of the second round. To wrap up the North Division, we have the Maine Eclipse, who currently have a record of 2-5-0. Their most notable win of the season, and probably the best upset in the EHLP to date, was a 1-0 shootout victory over the Boston Junior Rangers. Keeping up with the theme, the 3-time defending regular season champions in the Boston Junior Rangers currently sit in first place in the Central Division with a record of 4-1-2. Despite losing Ryan Bailey and Johnny Malandrucolo from last year's squad, head coach Keith Aucoin and the Rangers are still on the right track. The Express are tied at the top of the division, but have played 1 more game so far this year than the Rangers, with a record of 4-2-2 to date. Owen Swanbon has been the team's best player, earning all 4 wins between the pipes. Coming in at third place are the Worcester Railers, with a record of 3-2-0, and right behind them are the Valley Junior Warriors with a record of 2-5-1. It's worth noting the 2 victories for the Railers have been against the Walpole Express and the Boston Junior Rangers, the 2 teams that sit in front of them in the standings. Wrapping things up in the South Division, similar to the EHL, the New Jersey 87s sit in first place with the record of 7-3-1, with 3 of their 4 losses being at the hands of the Philadelphia Little Flyers. Following the losses to the Little Flyers, their last loss was to the Connecticut Chiefs. When looking at their roster, 03 forward Ivan Borisov currently leads the EHLP in scoring with 18 points through the first 11 games. The Little Flyers and Chiefs are tied for second place with 10 points apiece in the standings. Similar to the 87s, the Little Flyers returning forward Nick Bouchard is having a great second season with the team, currently tallying 17 points in 10 games. Although the Renegades are technically in last place in the South, they sit just 1 point behind the Chiefs and Little Flyers, with a record of 4-6-1. As it has been a common theme in the South, returning forward James Matson continues to be a leader and top player for the Renegades. Matson has 16 points of his own through 11 total games. To recap, that's Borisov from the 87s with 18 points, Bouchard from the Little Flyers with 17 points, and Matson from the Renegades with 16 points, all for the top 3 scorers in the EHLP. That does it for October in the EHL and the EHLP, and this month's video edition of Around the E-Show. Be sure to keep up with the E-Show podcast, which is released every Thursday throughout the season.